Hello, how's it going? Today I've got the first video of a series where I'm going to go to different kart tracks around the UK, put a decent lap together and then talking to you guys about what I'm doing on the lap, throwing in some tips and tricks on how to achieve better laps for your future karting experiences. Also going to be talking about the karts and the circuit with my opinion on what I think of the venue. But yeah, they've had some upgraded Sodi karts to Milton Keynes Daytona, so it'll be interesting to try them out, see what they're like. Whilst there, I did a 20-minute arrive and drive session, but unfortunately in between turns 7 and 8 there was a lot of water down there due to it being in the shade from the trees, so all that part of the track wasn't as dry as the rest. So unfortunately the lap isn't as fast as a dry track. But yeah, the best lap that I did in the session was a 1:17.5 with a kart spun on the apex of turn 8 as well on the lap. But yeah, anyway, I'll be quiet and let the hot lap play out and then go through it afterwards in more detail. But yeah, let's send it. Alright, let's get into this hot lap in more detail then. So, as we're coming round to start the lap, we're going to be making sure, let's get a bit closer first, we're going to make sure that coming into here, we're going to be getting right on the right hand side to get as late of an apex as possible to make sure we get a good run onto the straight. So as we're coming in, we're turning in nice and late, bit of a slide on the way in to get it to rotate. And then yeah, coming off the corner as straight as possible to get a nice run onto the start of the lap. Through here is pretty self-explanatory, it's just flat out, up against the apex, and then back out to the right hand side. So here you can see the track isn't fully dry here, it's quite dry on the outside, but this bit's a little bit damp. But to be honest, it didn't really affect this lap because I broke pretty much in the same place as I would. So if we go up to the braking a bit, I think I'm braking around here, you'll see on the foot on the pedal. So there, that's where I'm braking. Little dab on the brakes here, get it turned in, up against the barrier, probably a bit closer there, yeah. And then here, run this a little bit, back over to the left hand side, and then make sure you're getting right over to this right hand side again before you get on the brakes to get a nice clean line back out of the hairpin, because if you go too narrow into it, you're going to get a worse run out, which is never good. You'll see here I get a little bit of a slide over the hill, but it's good because it gets it rotated into the corner, up against the barrier, and then back out right on the right hand side on the exit again. Coming up to this difficult right hander, you can see as well there's a big wet patch on the outside here. My usual dry line, I would be coming right up over this, and then I'll be getting it turned in over the wet patch. I still do go a little bit over it, but not so much that it makes me wash out and slide. So as I'm coming in, a little bit on it, get a little slide in again to rotate a bit, and then get a nice smooth run out of the corner, right up to the exit curb, and then straight down to the next corner. Skip a tiny bit, and then so for this corner, it's quite a late apex. You don't want to be getting anywhere near the inside here. You want to be getting a nice late turn in, come down middle of the track, and then get a late apex up here. And then as you're running out, don't go on this curb here, because that you lose grip when you put your left wheels on there, and you'll be washing out, and you might have to lift off so you don't hit the barriers. And then yeah, as you're coming off there, back up onto the right hand side, late on the brakes, little slide again mid corner to get it to rotate, and then up against this curb, run it nice and wide out, don't hit this curb because you'll bottom out, and then yeah, you get a good run down onto this area here. So usually in the dry, this is just flat out straight around to the last hairpin before the back straight, but at the minute you can see this is all soaking wet. So coming down here, I'll say what to do when it's a little bit damp like this and what to do when it's dry. So when it's dry, you can probably be a bit more mid-track, and you just go right up against the apex, and then I'll show you the rest of it. But in the wet, you can see here it's a little bit drier in this area. So what I was trying to do, I didn't do it on this lap, but I did it on all the other laps. I got a nice turn in here, sharp turn in, to point the kart towards this curb. So I'd say around now, I turned in a little bit early. I didn't go quite far enough to the right hand side on this lap. But if you go a little bit further onto this dry bit, you can get it turned in, get it over this curb on the left hand side. I missed it on this lap, but you can get on that and it grips it and it throws you more towards this dry patch here. So coming into this hairpin, I didn't do the normal line because there was a kart spun on the apex that I seen as I was coming into the braking bit here. But yeah, so in the dry, we'll go back a tiny bit. In the dry, you'll be coming across here, and then you'll be getting up against the right hand side of this curb, but don't go on this curb because it'll unsettle the kart on turning. So we'll skip a little bit. So the dry line up against here, and then turn it nice and late apex, get a good run off onto the straight and up the hill. But on this occasion, I've had to leave a little bit of a gap on the inside because the kart was stuck. So dry line is going to be on this curb, and then right out to the outside up the hill. And for me, I just took a bit of a wider line as there was water on the entry to the corner and there was a kart spun on the apex. But yeah, so a very slow run up the hill here. Skip forward a little bit. This is a pretty standard corner. You want to get a nice late apex though, so it's flat out all the way through here. And you want to get onto the apex around here, and then get the kart straight as soon as you can, because you'll be straight as soon as the kart's straight. You're going to be on the brakes into this hairpin. You want to turn nice and late around there, two wheels on that curb, run it out nice and up against the curb. Don't hit this curb on the outside because you'll just bottom out and you'll lose time. Get a bit of a later turn in there, and then same again here, getting it nice and straight. And as you get to the pit entry area, that's where you want to be your turning point. A little slide on the way in to get it to rotate. As I probably turned a little bit early into this corner, would have left it a tiny bit later on an ideal lap. But yeah, nice up against the barrier, get it straight off the corner onto the straight, and then across the line to finish the lap. So as far as my opinion on the venue, I've raced here a few times in the past, including our team won 2 back-to-back 24 hours here, one in the Sodi class and then in the D-Max the following year. I have to say it is one of my favourite corporate kart tracks in the UK. The circuit is a really fun layout, and the staff are always friendly when I'm here. Also, these new karts that I've tried for the first time feel quite good in the 20 minutes that I've driven them. But yeah, anyway, that's going to be it for this video. So if you've been to this circuit before, drop a comment on what you think of the venue and your past experiences here. Also, if you've enjoyed this or found it useful, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more videos like this at other venues around the UK. But yeah, anyway, I'll catch you in the next one.